You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell him that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's something, don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumping where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You can double, you can press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever.
Sweet win, shorthanded, and to come on the road and get a win in a tough place to play. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. It was, just it's a credit to all of our guys and the character in that locker room. Dealing with a lot the last couple days or so, and they pulled together and went out and competed for 48 minutes, played hard. Really solid defense. Shared the ball offensively. All the things that we talk about, all of our concepts, and I'm extremely proud of this group.
Started with CJ, 18 in the first half. I mean, he was really the offense really for the first half, so he kind of steadied the ship, but his leadership really came through in that first half especially.
CJ is incredible. What he means to this team, what he means to myself, our organization, our community. He's a pro's pro. And to your point, he carried us in the first half, and the rest of the guys followed his leadership, and good win on the road for us.
In the second quarter, you didn't turn the ball over at all. You turned it over one time after the first quarter. How key was that to allow you to extend the lead in that second quarter?
It's extremely key in every game for us. With us having guys out, missing some of our key guys, I talk about it a ton, but the margin for error is small. So taking care of the basketball is key, so we have more opportunities to get quality shots. We want to offensive rebound. We want to finish possessions defensively so we can get out in transition and play some of our best basketball.
Third quarter, we got to give them their flowers. The bench, Jose Alvarado, Daniel Tice, Brandon Boston. But that two-man combo of Jose and Daniel Tice was unbelievable and allowed you to get that lead to double digits.
Those guys were great. They're scrappy, and they went in the game and just turned the game upside down. And Jose he's known for that. He'll get in the game, pick up full, cause havoc. He got one of his famous, Jose Grand Theft Auto steals or what you call them. But Jose, Tice, Brandon Boston, Jeremiah, no points, but affected the whole game, plus 17, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Those guys were huge for us.
Coach, again, it's been a tough 48 hours, but this is a tough road trip. I mean, you think of the teams that you're playing in the cities you're playing, just to start off with a win before we head to Boston and the conference's team. And, you're going to get, Zion back hopefully on Sunday and just get a little more reinforcements, but shorthanded, just the win here on the road. How big is that for the team?
It's big time. It's big time, especially, looking at our team and looking at the difficulties and the adversity that these guys are going through, that we're all going through. You want to get as many many wins up as possible, and we have to relish and be pretty happy with these opportunities, and it's good to get one on the road.
Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, for all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Post-Game Report. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being this episode of the Pelican Post-Game Report. We in this thing, man. Shout out to the fam. Sorry, I was last night, fam, I was under the weather. Still kind of feeling some little setbacks from that right now. But listen, we in this thing. We're probably gonna slide the portion of the show till tomorrow. The question and the call up side of the show until tomorrow. on our Sunday stream where we'll be matching up. It'll be, I think, a 5 o'clock tip-off game against the Boston Celtics. And we'll then kind of go after that game with the recap and the call-in area as well. So look, big ups to you guys in this one. As we heard Willie Green says always, Willie Green always saying some stuff. But let's kind of just hop right into some of the stats that happened from the game. And that wasn't really the part of it, the fact that the Pelicans did win, despite the fact that Zion wasn't there. And they actually had a pretty decent effort in this game, to be honest with you. The Pelicans won all but one quarter of the game. They had actually a solid 4-quarter effort. They lost the fourth quarter by 1 point, but they won the first, the second, the third, and almost won the fourth by 1 point, beating them 123-115. So they almost gave almost a full effort. I guess I can't say a full effort, beating them last night. Pelicans 44 of 91 for 48.4%. Sixers 42 of 91 for 46.2%. Pelicans hit 18 3-point shots. Got that beautiful 40 shot attempt, 3-point shot attempt by Willie Green. You know, he wants 40 a night. He had 18 of 40 by the Pelicans for 45% shooting from downtown. They were doing pretty decently with that. Sixers 14 of 38 for just under 37%. Pelicans were 17 of 26 from the foul line for 65.4%. When you get 26 attempts in somebody else's building, you got to do your best to get as many as you could, but they still got the win. This could have been a lot more if the free throws were at a higher clip, but nonetheless, they got it. 17 of 19, almost 89.5% for the Sixers. We're looking at 44 to 42 on the rebounds. The assist game, 31-23. Pels way 7-7 steals, blocks 8-3 Pels, turnovers only 12 by the Pels, 16 points given up versus 9 with 16 given up by the Sixers. The Pels did win the fast break battle 25-22 and lose the points in the paint game 46-40. Nonetheless, not too much other stuff that the Pels didn't do in this matchup last night to kind of get a win, unsuspected win. CJ McCollum put up 38 points in 35 minutes, 13 of 24 from the field, 6 of 11 from downtown. He was 6 of 11 from the foul line. That's kind of rough, but still in all, 38 points is pretty good. 3 assists, 3 rebounds from CJ McCollum, 21 from Jordan Hawkins in 31 minutes, getting the start, 7 of 15 from the field, 5 of 11 from downtown. He had it cooking. Finished with 21, 17 from DeJounte Murray in a double-double day, almost a triple-double day by DeJounte, 17 points, 6 assists, and 10 rebounds on 7 of 17 shooting from the field. He was 2 of 5 from downtown, and they led the effort. And then, of course, you got good production off the bench from the Pelican bench. Daniel Tice had 12 points and 4 rebounds in 18 minutes, 13 points from Jose Alvarado with 9 assists, almost a double-double by him. And a lot of the pluses came from the bench. A lot of pluses strong off the bench there. Jose plus 19 to go along with 13 points, 9 boards, 9 assists with a couple of steals, 11 for Brandon Boston in 23 minutes with 2 rebounds. And of course, you look at Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, plus 17 on 7 rebounds, 5 assists. So plus 17, plus 16, plus 19, plus 14 off the bench. Bench was big. And that's sometimes we need that bench to kind of step up to help when we're shorthanded. Of course, Zion Williamson did not make the trip because all kind of weirdness that's going on there. But man, what can I tell you? Let me kind of show this picture with you, and we'll play a clip from Shannon Sharp as they was talking about. He had an interesting take on it. But check this out, fam. This is what Chris had to say. Chris Haynes, the insider for NBA, he works for Fresno. He's live Fresno channel, but he does a lot of work for the NBA, ESPN. This is what he said. Sources: New Orleans Pelicans star Zion Williamson has been late for multiple practices this season. On top of being late for the team's flight to Philly, these incidents led to a 1-game suspension. Multiple. So Zion Williamson, man, no accountability lives in this building. No accountability. And check this out, man. If this didn't float your boat, check a look at this picture right here. This is Zion Williamson. This dude said, shorter. Zion Williamson reportedly seen at a Wendy's drive-thru just minutes before the team flight departure. Oh my goodness, man. Listen, man, I can neither I can't confirm this image. I don't know if this is true or not. All I can say, this is funny as hell. You got that big Kool-Aid smile. Oh my goodness. It can't get any rougher than this, right? This can't get. I hope Zion ain't sit up there eating Wendy's. You had to have a stop at the Wendy's before the flight. All right. Thanks a lot, man. It's a lot of fun shit going on online right now, man. Y'all, I can't play with y'all, man. Y'all too crazy. All right. Anyway, let's move on, man. Let me get to this part here, man. We're gonna kind of look at this little clip right here from Shannon Sharp. They had something to say about Zion Williamson. I can't too much.
Zion Williamson after he reported late to a team flight to Philly. Zion just returned to the court after a 27-game absence, and now he will miss Friday's game against the Sixers.
Well, listen, didn't he just sit out after having a small hamstring injury?
He missed 27 games. He came back. He sat out again, and then he showed up late.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question, Ocho? Do they spring these trips on you, or you know? It's not like a surprise test, bro. They give you an itinerary. We leave it X time. This man don't come up by playing. Look here, guys. At some point in time, we've got to come to the conclusion. Zion is interested in playing basketball for New Orleans. He might not even be interested in playing basketball. How you miss that many games, and the first time that you really have to travel and you're going to play, you show up late.
And you know,
that man don't care. That's not. He don't care. That's not. He don't care.
For him to get suspended, that means it wasn't his first time either.
Or they're trying to send a very, very strong message.
What would that message be?
Bro, you bull jabbing. So we finna start taking $150,000, $200,000 from you.
Well, you listen, now you got to be careful now. You got to be careful, because not now, if you think he's bull driving, and you start taking money from him, then he gonna see you got to deal with the pushback. Oh, so that's what we're doing? All right, we know what, I don't even want to be here no more.
Well, that's very obvious. Have you seen? I mean, tell me what gave you the impression that he wanted to be there?
He had to come out and say that he didn't want to play there. Because normally when they play there,
I don't need you to tell me. You show me with your actions. See, I see better than I hear. I hear you telling me you want to be there. But I see every time I turn around, you're hurt. I see every time I turn around, I got to put a weight clause in your contract to make sure you don't overeat. You're not healthy. You're not taking this serious. Bro, how you show up late when you know
what time to play?
My job, we travel, Ocho. They done gave you the itinerary. We get the itinerary, we get Friday. Okay, we leave it at such and such. Okay, we got practice, boom, boom, boom. We got ball. Okay, we got practice tomorrow morning. We got meeting. We got walkthrough. Plane leaves at 3:30. They didn't spring that on him.
It's interesting because they bring up good points about Zion Williamson's situation, which is really crazy because when they suspended, I'm like, hold on, man, because that was the initial report was he suspended for being late. But I also thought the same way. I was like, you know what, man, this is crazy because what's going on here? And then, of course, Chris Haynes then drops the extra tweet a little later on. That as we bring Lex in. Shout out to Lex. Let's see. Oh, there you go, Lex. We bring you in. But we bring it. But that's the thing that happens here with Zion is the fact that Zion is reported by Chris Haynes that he has missed multiple, has been late to multiple practices this year. On top of being late for the team's flight to Philly, these incidents led to the 1-game suspension. That was Chris Haynes. So you have a player that's repetitively missing games. And it's also questionable about whether or not Zion, if he was really hurt. I personally don't believe that Zion was that hurt where he had to sit out, 2 months for a strain. And then they bring him back, minute restriction. And then you have him miss multiple practices. It's just insane, man. What's going on here? Lex, welcome in. We won't be holding. I know you are tuned into the Ravens matchup. You're a Ravens girl.
I got it on mute.
Okay, I know she's a Ravens girl. So
but I got a lot going on though, man. I got a lot going on. So, what we got going on here though?
We listen. We her listen. You missed the best part of the show, which was the post game talk from Willie Green.
Oh,
Uh,
I didn't
we
miss nothing.
we did we
I did not miss nothing. Don't say that.
we went over the stats for the game, individual and team stats, and this segment right here, we actually listened to what Ocho and Shannon was saying about Zion Williamson getting his 1 game suspension. Of course, we heard Chris Haynes. What his tweet was him missing multiple practices because of the 1 game suspension. So it continues to snowball, and the city of New Orleans is totally unprofessional. And man, what can I tell you? It don't surprise me at all that this kind of stuff is going on. These people don't have any accountability. Michael says, I heard he's done this since the draft. Okay, so they've been doing that. All right, thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
All right, Lex. Let's bring it back to you. What do you thought about the situation with Zion and the win that they got over Philly, the surprise win over Philly? What do you think about this?
Which one do you want first, the game or
what? However you want to go.
Well, I'll start with the game. You know, the team came. Well, one thing I look at is that anybody who plays the Pelicans, and I've noticed this, is that a lot of teams. A lot of teams, they go through the motions. They don't really play hard against the Pelicans. It's almost like, oh, shoot, they way under 500, so they're not coming with it. Now, with that being said, the 76ers don't look all that great, obviously. They're still trying to, build chemistry. Obviously, they're in a better situation than the Pelicans, but I just kind of felt like, the 76ers, for the most part of the game, they didn't bring it. I think this was a game that they felt like they could cruise through. They obviously Zion wasn't playing. This squad here, I mean, Trey Murphy wasn't out there. Herb Jones wasn't out there. I mean, a lot of the key guys were not out there. And so I kind of feel like that's kind of what happened. But one thing that gave us the edge with against them is that they were really feeding into Messi. They didn't have Embiid playing. Yubasele was guarding Messi a lot. It was either him or somebody who's small, but Messi was the biggest guy out there. Mm-hmm. And because, his mobility was a problem, they couldn't stop that. In that same breath, I noticed, man, Pelicans were making shots. They couldn't miss. When could we actually say that, it was one of those games where the shooting was on and it was everybody. Every time that ball went up in the air for the Pelicans, that ball was going up in the hole. So, I mean, I was actually shocked. I was like, oh, shoot. y'all making everything today. It was like, shooting the basketball in a pool or something. That's how big the goal was. You know what I'm saying? Everything was just falling. So I think a combination of just those three things, having that edge as far as with Messi, guys, there was actually solid ball movement. The energy, it was okay. I mean, I think both teams, the energy was just okay. I don't think there was any change. I think fouls were actually going for the Pelicans. You know what I'm saying? When can we actually say that? They were getting a lot of calls, and so the Pelicans came out with the win. Now I think a lot of people felt like oh man, this was lost. I mean, I felt like it was, but again, I didn't know who I was going to be playing either. So that kind of determines is a huge factor. But I'm glad they came out with the win. I think it's funny because I checked out something with Paul George, and they had Paul George playing at the 5. I was like, oh, I understand what you're saying. You know, a lot of fans, the 76ers fans, are kind of disgruntled with him, but I can definitely understand, like, hey, dog, I'm with you. That makes absolutely no sense because it has to make sense to play at the 5. You know, it seems like everybody's on this small ball thing, and it's like you got to make it make sense. It's got to make sense. Small ball is not the answer to everything. Willie Green. But I'm really glad that Misi was out there a lot, and you know they were able to go to him. He got a lot of lobs, which is always great to see. But I was really impressed with the ball movement, and how everybody was involved. Everybody was shooting, and everybody was making shots, and you know that was great to see. As far as with Zion, oh my goodness. I'm sorry, Derrick Henry's running. It was beautiful. Okay, but anyway, as far as with Zion, I feel like this. I know everybody wants to talk about Zion. Oh, he's unprofessional. But you said he's been doing stuff like this, which I didn't know. Because has he ever been suspended? Has
No,
Zion
not
ever been
knowledge.
suspended?
I
I
don't.
think this is his first suspension.
First time ever.
And that's what I want to focus on, is that this first suspension, if he has been doing this, why in the 6th season and at this juncture are you suspending him? He just got back. You know, in that case, you know, I'm trying to figure out why wouldn't you just fine him? No, money is powerful. You know what I'm saying? Instead of suspending him, you know, send a message. You can send a stronger message to someone by fining them more so than suspending them.
In
You know what I'm
essence,
saying? And
yep.
especially when he gets back, and it's like the supporters are already deprived of seeing this man play. We don't see him play. I know for me, like, look, I understand, like, okay, you want to suspend him, but dog, you are 6 seasons too late of trying to hold accountability to this dude. Y'all need to try, the organization needs to try having some accountability. Like, I'm being serious. And I come back to my quote. I know y'all know it by now. It's from Remember the Titans. Attitude reflects leadership. Attitude reflects leadership. It does. If you're upset on how Zion is missing practices or missing flights or anything like that, you know what? Then something must have went wrong when, you know, as far as you all leading, because his attitude is reflecting that. It didn't just pop up. You all have to have accountability. You all have to have accountability just as well as Zion does. And I feel like, look, it's not just a one-way street. It's not just a one-way street. It's a two-way thing. If you're going to talk about accountability, it cannot just be with the players. It has to be with the front office. It has to be with the coaching staff. It has to be with the whole organization. So he's been doing this, and all of a sudden, this is Zion's first suspension. He's been doing this, and this is his first suspension.
Yep.
I mean, come on now.
Well, Lex, you got to look at it too, because them suspending them is another way to take a game off of them. And when you're taking games off of them and depriving them of play, that does cost them money in the long run, especially
But the thing
based on
is,
his contract.
as a supporter, he's missed games. We already don't see Zion play. You see what I'm saying? We already don't see him play. I want to see him play.
That's a curious decision to decide to suspend as opposed to.
Yeah, the timing of this is horrible. The timing was just horrible. Like, why now? Why now? Why are you doing this now? And to me, you know, we haven't heard from Griffin We haven't heard from Griffin in I don't know how long. And we hearing from him now on a Zion suspension. Are for real? Are you serious? Nah, man. I'm sorry. I'm just, man, I'm tired of that dude. And I'm tired of this organization is not organized. That's a heck of an oxymoron right there. You know what I'm saying?
It's
This
quite the
organization
disorganization, isn't it?
is not organized. They're not disciplined. And so therefore, you have a player who you've been, supporting all this stuff. This is his first suspension. His first suspension. And he's been doing this. So the thing is, this was the norm for you guys. So you want to punish him for a norm that you embraced? You know what I'm saying? Does that work?
That's right. That's right.
I mean, think
I don't know
about
what your problem is, Lex.
for
You better
all
get
of
the
you all
program.
who have kids, okay? If you continue to let your child talk back to you, okay, and you've been letting them talk back to you from all their elementary school
Lex
years.
froze up.
Huh? I froze
You
up?
back. Yeah, you back.
Oh, okay. If you're letting your child talk back to you for all their elementary school years, and then they get to middle school, and then all of a sudden they talk back and it's like you can punish them, and they just laugh at you like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, dog, you created that. You supported that. You let your child know that, hey, this is okay. It's okay to talk back to your parent. No, it's not. But by the time you get to middle school, dog, oh my gosh, you are in for a turbulence there. I mean, you really are. You can't do that. You can't all of a sudden, okay, well, I'm going to pick and choose when I want to correct you, or I'm going to pick and choose when I want to give you consequences or hold you accountable. You can't do that. That's really not good parenting. It's really not. You have to be consistent in how you correct and how you go to punish or hold accountability to people. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Now, one thing I will say, look, I'm sure everybody can relate. We've all been late to work. We've all been late. Something came up, car broke down, anything. And we don't know the reasons on why Zion was late. And see, that's another thing. I mean, because that's something that we can all relate to. I don't know not one person who hasn't been a little late. Look, a quote from Drumline: if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you want to get to work early, so you can be ready and be on time for ready to go. But we don't know the whole situation. I think with everybody, because I know everybody's saying, oh, Zion, he's not being professional. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. Well, hey, the times where we were late for work, does that mean that we're not professional? You know what I'm saying? Right. Good excuse. You know what I'm saying? And again, we don't know his excuse. We don't know. So, I mean, I don't know how consecutive it is or consistent as far as how late he is to practice, or I don't know if he's missed flights in the past, if this is his first flight, because they talked about the practices, but is this his first flight that he missed? You know what I'm saying? So
unknown.
Okay. So I don't know.
If it happened, I'm pretty sure we would have heard about it. We hear about everything else.
Yeah, exactly. So if this is his first flight that he's missed, we don't know what the reason was. I'm not saying that I'm giving an excuse to him. But at the same time, why would we give an excuse to the organization if, as far as with practices? Now, with practices, I don't know. To me, missing a flight and missing practice is kind of different, so I don't know. I just feel like find time to try to, hold Zion accountable. Like 6 seasons in, it's fine time. You know what I'm saying? Y'all waited till he hit, teenage years. You know what I'm saying? So all elementary, you didn't want to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just think that's funny.
It's an interesting dynamic, man. For why that brings the question of why suspend them now as opposed to just fine them. That's true. But we do also know it's basically the same thing as the Pelicans depriving them of starting counts as a game in a whole, which does affect him contractually because his a lot of his pay is based on how many games he play. So if this is something that keeps happening, you can understand why the team is underperforming, because the guy the team is supposed to be built around is not taking it serious, despite the fact that he talks a mean game. He's not doing it. So at what point as an organization, I'm not saying organization's wrong for what they did, because you're supposed to do this, but at what point does Zion and them get on the same page to have success? The season is in the toilet right now. Now, the next matchup Zion will be eligible to play will be against the Boston Celtics. And the Boston Celtics are 27-11. They'll have everybody there in the matchup. The Pelicans, let me put up the Pelicans injury report right here. As you can see, is Brandon Ingram is out for this game, so no BI for this game. DeJounte Murray is day-to-day with that elbow shin issue he had, and it's listed as day-to-day. And Herb Jones, as you know, with the shoulder, is out indefinitely until further notice. But the Celtics, they're going to have everybody and ready for them. Drew Holiday, everybody's there. Jaylen Brown, Tatum. So this is going to be an interesting matchup against the Boston Celtics. Lex, what happens here against the Celtics?
I mean, let's see. Trey's back. Zion's going to be back, which is great. I feel like Boston is going to be shooting a lot of jump shots. But I don't know. Boston looks good. They play consistent. They're disciplined. They know who they are. I just feel like as far as weapons, they have more solid weapons than the Pelicans. Now I'm not saying that they can't beat them. We know that they can, but they're also well coached. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm really not trying to see like really any small ball because Porzingis, he's playing now. He's gonna be playing. I don't know. They'll have quite a bit of size to throw out there. So doing that small ball stuff is out of the question. Is way out of the question. They're gonna have to play for 48 minutes.
Boy, look at that matchup indicator, Lex. Look at that. 85.
Oh yeah, they're giving them no chance. And I mean, hey, the Celtics are gonna win if the Celtics are coming in with the right mentality, because they definitely have to do their part. But I'm pretty sure they will, because they're trying. They have goals for this season. They have things that they're trying to do, and plus they're the more serious playoff contenders, and they are defending champs. So, this will be a tough task, a very, very tough task. This is equivalent to playing Cleveland or OKC right now. All three of those teams are playing like they're playing for something. Like they're trying to, like right now in regular season, they are trying to win a championship. And so, yeah, I just the matchup indicator, they ain't lying. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't lying.
They are not. So, yeah. But still, they still got to bring it though. They still got to bring it. I don't want them to just, fall into despair. Man, fight. This is something that they need. Nobody wants to. they just need to play like they have some type of chip on their shoulder, but don't get blown out. I don't want them to get blown out. It's a high probability that they will, but just make the Boston Celtics feel you in some type of way. Make them feel you. But
Well,
I don't think they're going to get this game though.
Zion trade back makes an entertaining game, but the Celtics, that's a different monster. I agree with you. I hope it ain't one of them games where the Pelicans completely annihilated and you got to call for the ambulance.
Ambulance! Where the ambulance? Why the man body still right there? Ain't supposed to be laying there. Call the damn ambulance!
We got to call the ambulance because that's the hopefully that won't be the case for the Pelicans. All-World Trucker says, are they ever going to fire Willie Green?
I want to say thank you
bro.
very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Man, I appreciate you, bro, for that.
All-World Trucker, they're not going to fire him. If they haven't fired him by now, they're not gonna fire him. They're keeping Willie Green. They're keeping him. And plus, I think really by them suspending Zion the way that they did, really, I kind of felt like it confirmed that Griff is trying to tank. They're not. He
ain't got no choice. No, they don't.
He's not trying to win at all. So it was like, and I kind of feel like, by him this being the first suspension for Zion, I was like, man, that's really interesting that you chose that time like now. And I think a lot of people like just kind of like that's confirmation. It's confirmation. You're not trying to win. You don't want to win. And so when you look at Willie Green, what does Willie Green help this team do?
Lose.
Exactly. Doing
Austin
again, Powers.
What does he do?
Austin Powers.
What does Willie do?
Oh.
What does he help the team do?
He helps the team lose. Okay. That's what he does. Okay. And Griff loves that. Be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep you, dog, because you're supporting everything that I'm trying to do right now. And I want the team to tank. Because he's thinking about getting a draft pick. And you know what I'm thinking? I'm like, I feel sorry for that draft pick because Griff, if you are still here and if Willie Green is still here, you are dooming that top draft pick. That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like. And I keep saying it. I feel like this team, the way that they are handling their players, these players, you are wasting their time. You're wasting their time. And I just don't feel like, for an organization that doesn't have any vision, that doesn't have any direction, and they're just dialed into figuring it out, that's a problem for me. Because yes, you're tanking, but you don't want to stay tanking. You don't want to stay down. The thing is, the most that this team, really got to with this group in 6 seasons, there hasn't been any growth. It's just been stagnant and worse. That's what it's been. That's what it's been. It's been stagnant and it's been worse.
Lexxah, it appears they done topped out on the talent that they have with the 49 wins. And
that's the best that they can do.
Yeah,
and they've been borderline play. This has been a borderline playing team. They haven't, like, if you look at OKC and how OKC has progressed in 5 seasons, they had 2 losing seasons. The 3rd season was an okay season. And the last 2 seasons, including this one, they've been number 1 in the West. Y'all see those, how they've gone? They've progressed.
Maybe you could
They
say
started
something. You
low.
could say something about Minnesota doing the same thing. They both
Yeah,
started rebuilds at the same time.
that's
And
how it's
Minnesota both
supposed
had
to
it.
be.
Yeah,
That's how
that's
it's
true.
supposed to be. The Pelicans have not done that.
Hell no, not even
In
close.
6 seasons, the Pelicans have not moved. They've been in the same spot or they've gone down. Those are the two options in all these 6 seasons. You don't see any progression trending upward. It's always been, just right here. Look, y'all know those graphs that, you know what I'm saying? They going up a little bit and then there's a drop. Okay? Like that's basically what it's been. And I think that's the frustrating thing, but what can you expect when you have 3 different coaches in 6 seasons? In Zion's whole tenure, you've had 3 different coaches. So there's been a huge lack of stability here. Not only that, not even in that, there's a lack of stability in the quality of the coach and the coaching staff. I mean, it's just all bad. It's just all bad. Whichever way that you want to look at it, it's all bad.
Yeah, it's this season Pelicans are sitting up here at what is it, 8-31 now? Yeah, they done definitely backed themselves into looking at the lottery right now. Ain't no doubt about it at this point. I don't expect them doing this type of stuff, suspending Zion as opposed to a cash fine. And of course, holding on to Willie as opposed to making a change midstream. It's a joke. David Griffin's hiding. His puppet ass general manager is scared to come out and do anything. It's this whole situation is the joke. They've been thoroughly exposed, and I don't think the faithful has any respect for any of these guys the way it is. And the 49 wins last year, followed by 8-win season up to this point, is just ridiculous. Non-competitive. Totally. All right. Big ups to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all, man, being in the stream as well. I see you, brother. Hakeem, how you doing, brother? Hakeem, shout out to you, my boy. Good to see you. Stacy, Molly Mall, good to see y'all in the chat. Jacob, Don, big ups to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for stopping by as well. Corey, I see you, fam. Lavelle, big ups to everybody. Slim, big ups. Good to see y'all, man. YBD, what's that? YBNG Don, shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you. You dig in this thing as well. Appreciate y'all. Hey, listen, fam, we're gonna bounce back tomorrow. Like I said, right now they got the Ravens game going on right now. I know y'all dialed into that. I just wanted to pop the stream up here just to go over it. We're gonna pop up tomorrow. The game is tip-off time for the game is in Boston, 5 p.m. early, which means it'll be an early stream. We'll open up the phone lines for the family members on our Sunday stream, which will be tomorrow, man, and we'll kind of recap that thing. It's going to be a tough game for the Pels. It'll be interesting to see how upset Zion is after the suspension. Trey Murphy's there with Zion, so he should definitely benefit from Zion being there. CJ McCollum has been shooting the ball really well as well, so hopefully that works. The Pelicans were, 18 of 40 from downtown against Philly yesterday. Can that carry over to Boston? If they can do that, that could be really interesting. And of course, you can't make all the mistakes against Boston. They got everybody's there. Drew's there, Tatum, Brown, all those guys are going to be available to play. Porzingis, all those guys are there. So it's going to be a tough game, man. So I'm not expecting if the Pelicans beat Boston, that'll be very interesting. I'm not expecting that, man, because I expect at some point they'll have several defensive breakdowns along the way. It just seems to happen when we get to an interval where coaching is involved. We kind of walk this thing back. So we're gonna see, man, how it work. But we'll be back tomorrow to recap this thing. So very interesting with the whole situation with Zion Williamson, man. It's just foolish, man. But we are here, and it is what it is. All right, so fam, y'all do a service. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate y'all popping up the stream. We're gonna pop back tomorrow, man, on the recap show, talking about the Pelicans. All right, y'all hit the like, hit the subscribe, and the share button. We're gonna holler at you on the next one. Much love.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat. I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always saying, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, bunch of train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep.
Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever.
The WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, the WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. So check out the Pro Shop and Who Dat.